Welcome to The Consult Before the Cut, your go-to podcast for all things anti-aging, aesthetics, and plastic surgery. I'm Dr. Jonathan Weiler, a board-certified plastic surgeon with over 15 years of experience.
I am Taylor Besh, physician's assistant and expert injector at Weiler Plastic Surgery.
And I'm Brittany DeSherry, nurse and COO over at Rejuvime Medical. Each week, we'll dive deep into the latest trends, expert insights, and real stories from the world of beauty and wellness. So grab a seat at the consult room and let's discover the secrets of timeless beauty together. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Consult Before the Cut. We are here this week. As always, we like to thank our lovely sponsors, Rejuvime Medical, all things anti-aging, hormone replacement, GLP-1s, peptides, aesthetic injectables, all over Louisiana. We have 12 locations in Louisiana and one in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. The Gulf Coast.
The Gulf Coast.
Mississippi Gulf Coast.
I say that.
Mm-hmm.
11 in Mississippi, soon to be 12. I mean,
Yep.
11 in Louisiana, soon to be 12
Oh,
in
okay. I was
Louisiana.
like, whoa.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
Nice.
not the soon to be 12. So very excited about that. Of course, Weiler Plastic Surgery Group, the largest plastic surgery group in Louisiana, with 5 board-certified plastic surgeons, a whole bunch of absolutely amazing expert injectors, estheticians for all of your plastic surgery and aesthetic needs. So thank y'all so much for helping us make this a thing. We are here and back. I feel like we haven't done this in a
I
while.
know. I feel like I'm a little rusty
I know.
today.
I know.
Knock the rust off, Taylor.
I was about to say, I feel like
Took a little bit of a small little pause. It's coming to be around the holiday season, so we slowed down just a bit.
Oh, that's because the last time we did this, you two left me, and
Yes.
I was left to my own devices.
You were by yourself? You did the whole thing?
I was by myself.
Yeah, OG though. I mean, you got that.
I did it by myself.
Can't wait for that.
I was going to say, wait, so it was me, Sean, which is one of the estheticians from Weiler Plastic, and Sam with ZO. So we did it. We did it.
That was,
Yeah, guys.
It has been a while
She's
since
good.
we've
Where
been
were
together.
y'all?
She's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was perfect.
Show must go on, Britt. That's what I say, right?
I know.
Because it's almost, we're busy, all of us, and we have 3 different schedules. So
And
we do-
14 kids in between the three of us.
Yeah, we do rotate. We try all to be here, but occasionally, depending on the topic, right? And what we're doing.
I was in Denver for the last show, I think.
Oh, y'all
for
went to the game.
Right? Yeah.
I was
How
in
was that?
Denver is lovely.
I bet the
All
weather
the-
was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hiking.
Crisp.
What are we doing? Living in the dirty south of Louisiana, but it was really
We talk about it all the time. We're
Dirty
like,
down
you know,
south.
we should live somewhere else.
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
I think it's definitely the family that keeps you
It's
here,
the
right?
culture,
The culture.
It is.
and the people.
I don't have any babysitters in other states.
Correct.
Let's just start there. Like, I
And the
don't
Bring
duck
my
hunting.
family and my people and the ducks. Have you
And
been
the
killing
ducks.
ducks this
Yeah,
year?
we tore
Did you?
them up. Actually, the measure of my weekend is not necessarily like how it's always you want to get a bunch of ducks, but it's like that all my machinery.
That's
Worked.
I'd say it's like a tremendous jigsaw puzzle to actually be able to hunt a duck in my situation.
To pull off the show.
Like I have to, it's like coordination to the max. Like the time to get there and then like the transitions into the boat, the motors in the main boat have to start. So I had to jump those, but I got them jumped. Then you gotta get gas, and you gotta
worked.
find the gas. Like, and then the gas has to be good. Then you gotta get out there. Then once you get there, you gotta like remember to bring the keys to the generators, and you gotta get the generators going.
Wait, there's generators in the duck blind?
No. So my camp
the
is
camp.
an hour and 15 minutes out in the wilderness by itself. Like I have to take a boat to get there. Yeah.
Where
And
is
so
it?
It's on Point Affair Island.
But
which
they
is
say Pontifer.
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 It's all like one.
It is actually, I believe, the largest barrier island in Louisiana. It's uninhabited except
is
for
that like
many.
down by Grand Isle, or like you going
It's
over
parallel
towards
to
like
Grand
Lake
Isle,
Chuck?
but it's more towards like Grand Chenier. It's more towards
Okay.
the west.
Mm-hmm.
It's below the Atchafalaya Delta, which is the only active delta in the country. So it's really in the middle of nowhere.
Which is where the birds are.
With the birds are.
Where the birds are.
But
Wait,
like,
but you
literally,
need
and
to
then,
stop
like,
talking about it. We need
I
to
mean,
keep this
there's
very
like it is.
secret.
But like the pumps have to work. The generators have to work. The motor that drops the winch has to work. Like there
And
are
you have to bring food?
Oh, yeah, food. Well, water is collected. We collect rainwater, but all the food, everything you need has to be brought. That's why my wife hates it, because it's like if you miss one thing.
Wait, she goes there?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
She's been once.
She's been once or twice, and I almost got lost one time we went. We got caught in a giant cloud fog, and like I don't know, like it's everything looks the same. I mean, you get out there, it's like a forest. I mean, it's not a forest, it's a marsh, but a forest looks like a marsh. Right? I mean, it's like everything looks the same. And so I couldn't get my GPS. Wasn't working.
No.
I had my wife, my daughter, and her friend, and like I literally got into like a fog cloud.
And you don't have like service.
No cell service, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so like if you're stuck, you have to literally get like swim if you can, or like trudge. So like I got in this cloud and like I could not figure out.
No. See, panic.
Stop! You're making
I
this
didn't-
sound so amazing.
I didn't tell anybody that was on the boat. Made it act like I knew exactly what I was doing.
Oh my God.
I very luckily kind of just drove around, kept turning.
They're
drove.
literally sitting there going, he has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea. We are stuck. We're going to die.
I cannot.
And I
fathom
luckily
that.
like we have these PVC poles that we put in the ground. So if you can visually see about 200-300 yards, you can see the next one.
Oh, okay.
But if it's so foggy you can't see
it.
You don't know where the next one is. So luckily, like we must have put two relatively close together. So I realized like I'm either going forwards or backwards on this line of poles. So I think I like went and then like realized there wasn't one for another like 100 yards. It's like a parallel line, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep going, make sure you're going. And I was like, oh shit, turn around. Went exactly the other way. And then I saw the third one. I'm like, all right, we're good. Keep driving in a straight line.
All right, we're headed in the right direction.
So yeah, it was. But yeah, it's almost a thrill. It's really weird. It's almost like the challenge or thrill of not getting back that makes it kind of exciting.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
We
It does.
need you. Okay.
No,
what
but it
it's
kind
like.
of puts
No,
you
it
like, you know
doesn't.
what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, like think about how exciting. I don't know what you like to do, whether it's shopping
It's
or
like
hiking.
an adventure.
It's an adventure.
Of the whole thing.
I mean,
of
eventually
getting
somebody,
there.
yeah.
eventually somebody will come get me at some point.
you hope.
It may be 2 or 3 days, but
You
I
hope.
will get found, and I have a survival pack.
Local
But-
plastic
Oh my
surgeon
gosh.
I'll be fine.
lost
I'll
in
have a lot of bug
marsh.
bites, but we'll be okay. But like, it's almost like that
Ooh, you
excitement.
need a life straw.
I do have a life straw.
You have a life
I have
straw? I know what a life straw is.
Yeah, I have
You know what it
MREs. I have blanket. I have like electric, like those mirror blankets. And I literally have like $200. We all in our
It's your
boat,
doomsday
airport.
kit.
My doomsday kit, and like it's sort of the thrill of
Okay,
quite
so
a little excitement if you
yeah,
just don't know if
killing
you're gonna
the
make
ducks
Huh?
is lanyard.
Oh,
It
yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
it. Yeah,
Making
but like
it to the
I
camp
could pay
alive.
somebody money and they could come pick me up, and I could eat a little breakfast while I'm going out there and kill a lot of ducks. It's a lot of people do, but like it's almost like the whole thing of like having to find them yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure like the little risk of everything working, and then getting there and
That's
getting
so
out.
fun.
Wait, that was his good news this morning.
It was.
So for y'all that don't know, every meeting that we have, we like to do a little bit of good news. He's like, my personal good news, all my boats started. And I was like,
And you kill ducks.
you're
That's
what?
a win.
Yeah.
Win.
I'm like, that sounds like a solid weekend.
People think like country clubs are expensive. If they only knew. My wife
Yeah,
only knew
right.
what I spent
Right?
on this.
That's
kill me.
that is the most expensive
Avid
habit.
duck hunter by day or by
By
weekend.
weekend.
Plastic surgeon by
Wait, did you see the Instagram thing? I feel like this would be him. It was like my husband come to talk to me about budgeting while sitting in his room, and it's like these deer, like
Yeah,
it's
right.
just all this
Right.
wildlife, and she was like,
Elizabeth, don't listen.
That's all right.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
okay, so wait,
Hello.
I'm kind of excited about this because I love a good nose.
Yep.
I think
a
a
good
nose
nose.
does. I mean, a nose can make a face.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about liquid rhinoplasty.
Make or break a face.
Yes.
Make or
Yes.
break a face. But this is different. Liquid rhinoplasty,
Yep.
little different than your traditional rhinos.
Right. I think the nose is kind of back in these days. I think the nose. There's actually a large decrease in rhinoplasties mid 2000s, and they're kind of coming back.
Why?
Why?
Phones, Zoom calls, and FaceTimes.
You think that's why it's coming back?
Yes.
Why
Okay,
did it
but
go
why
away?
did it take a dip? Or is it just rising now acutely and it was just
No,
lower
it was
back
real
then?
popular, like 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
The
Oh my
Dallas,
gosh,
Dallas. They call it the Dallas rhinoplasty. All those women on Dallas had the little tiny
Yeah.
little noses, right?
Clueless. Remember, they all
Yeah,
had nose
little,
jobs
little
and
nose
Clueless.
jobs. Yeah. So it was like really big, and then it kind of like I think we went into the
Oh, you're pretty.
Yeah, well, your big butt era, like, oh, hey, put the money in your butt, or
Big boobs,
big
big butts.
big butt,
Yeah.
and hey, accept your face, love you just the way you are, kind of deal. And then I think the Zoom era of COVID happened, and I think we're also, I am not, but the younger generation is like super selfie aware, and like some people like don't even, I'm old, like a phone call is what I do. They do voice Snapchats and
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I think the nose and the face has kind of gotten, it's due now. Like, so the Zoom thing was like the chin, the double chin. Right. A lot of people were like the wrong angle. So, hey, put your computer on a couple of books. Don't have your computer on the desk and look up. Put your computer when you zoom in on a couple of books so it has that down angle for you, right? So lesson learned there. But the nose is sort of come back into vogue for surgery and for liquid rhinoplasty. A lot of it's because of the advancement of the fillers, right? I mean, fillers have...
But you're just saying noses in general.
Noses, I think the attention or paid to noses has risen once again. I think they kind of got accepted for a while. Does that make sense? And then, but I think it's back, and trends come and go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a Chanel suit from the 70s is like back in, right? It was once popular, always
Chanel
never goes out of style, right?
First and foremost, just.
What?
But yes, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
All of that, everything comes back around.
Right.
Right.
Talk about like proportions of the face with the nose.
So, I mean, I do think that, everybody has...
Or like the projection for, like...
You're talking about like the side profiles and things? So, I mean, traditionally, there's a difference between a male and a female nose, right? So male noses, most people prefer a stronger nose, right? They prefer a straight, we call it dorsal line, which means it comes all the way down. There's no difference really in the tip versus the dorsum, right? And most men and women prefer that. Women, on the other hand, they want a more petite nose. So they still want that straight dorsum. So nobody likes a big old hump, whether you're a male or female.
And you'll see females, or I see it more in females, have a hump right here. And that's really what I think majority of females focus on. You think more than like the width and the daintiness of the nose?
The hump? No, I think the side profile is very important.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. But I also think for females, the ideal nose is going to have a straight dorsum, and then there's a difference between this and the tip of your nose. We call it a little super break tip, a little bit of a difference between your dorsum and the tip of your nose. I think that's important. I think women also focus a little bit more maybe on the width of their nose, depending on whether your ethnicity is a big deal too, right? So we have ethnic rhinoplasties, we have Caucasian rhinoplasties. There's a big difference in your ethnicity and your preference for noses. I do think, obviously, Taylor's side profile is huge on a lot of people. Pictures, people criticize their nose on pictures. There's a lot of concern for the side profile with the dorsal humps. And then also people look at their tips, too, and they focus in on having like a wide, boxy or bulbous tip, we call it.
I'm just like sitting here staring. I'm like, Taylor, you have a good nose.
She does have a very good nose.
Thanks. You have a really good nose.
So
nose.
we are obviously focusing on the non-surgical, but run quickly through a surgical.
So certainly. So surgery, I tell ladies and men that come in, your nose is really composed of 3 parts. Think of it, right? And this is simplified. You have your skin, which covers everything. You have the bony compartment or portion, which is up top. And then you have your cartilage portion down below. And when you think of the nose, think of it, I always draw patients a picture. If you're lying on your back and I'm sitting up on your legs and looking up your nose, think of your nose as like an army tent, right? And the bony portion specifically, right? Like this. And so,
I have drawn so many army tents explaining noses.
And Taylor was talking about the side profile. What most people focus on is the bony dorsum up here, right? And that's where you get that big bump or that really annoying side profile that people hate, right? And this is bone. So to fix that, what we do is you make an incision in the little skin here, peel back that skin, right? And then we take down the top. Yep. So we take down the top of the TP, right? So we take down that top, and you're left with an open TP. And then we take a little, an instrument or sometimes a little chisel, and we fracture the sides of the nose, and we push the TP back closed again. And that lowers the hump, the dorsum, and it thins the width right here. And that's a very simplified version.
It's a great explanation.
But it's a good explanation of how to take care.
Are you freaking out?
I just think noses. I don't know. Nose. Anything with like the nose, it just makes me like
queasy.
Like I get like I get like that. Ugh.
Yeah, people like when because you can actually hear it is literally. So there's different instruments, but a lot of rhinoplasty surgeons, including myself, actually use a little chisel. And we crack that bone and then we move it in.
That's
that's why you get the black eyes. It's where you get the swelling. It's not particularly painful because it's not moving and we splint it down. But that's where you get a big dramatic difference right here, right? And that's typically like I'll call it like a European Caucasian issue is the big hump, right?
Yes.
That's a lot. Now the tip of the nose a little bit different. Okay, the tip of the nose is mostly supported by cartilage down here. And so I always tell patients is think of the tip of your nose as like a ram's horn. I know that sounds crazy, but it starts down here and it's like a horn that like kind of spins backwards. Okay. And that's, just like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of people come in and they have a really thick, wide tip. It looks like a ball or a bulbous extra tip. And that's because they have too much cartilage down there. And so a large portion of rhinoplasty is removing enough cartilage to make a difference. We'll talk about that in a second. And then reshaping with sutures to get more projection or pointiness, create a difference between the dorsum and the tip, right? And reshaping it down here. Now, 2 issues. So one, you don't want to remove all the cartilage, all right? Because what you end up with, they call it the old Dallas rhinoplasty. That's when they come in and take everything out and then your skin shrinks down. It looks amazing. Yep. Amazing for a couple of years.
Yes.
And it pinches back down and collapses.
Yes.
And if you watch Botched, right? That's what the rhinoplasty guy does all the time. And he always says that, hey, your nose may end up larger than it was before, but you're going to be able to breathe and it's going to overall look better. So you have to put cartilage back in to re-support it, right? So that's one issue that can occur. So you have to leave enough cartilage to support the tip of your nose or else it collapses. The second thing I tell patients that really limits the results is the thickness of your skin too. So some people, if you look at them and you're talking to them, look at their nose and you can see every little imperfection, lump or bump. Like you can almost even see the cartilage beneath the skin. So those patients have very, very thin skin. Some people have this extremely thick, sebaceous skin that is very difficult to mold. So I always tell patients, and if you look online, you Google it, it'll say, oh, rhinoplasty results take a year, year and a half. And the reason is because think of your nose as a beautiful big dining room table. 10 or 12 people if it's too big, all right? And you have a big, nice, thick tablecloth on top of it, all right? So we can change from a 12-person table to a 6-person table. We can take down the bone and we can take away some of the cartilage, but we're not cutting any skin out because we don't want to leave any scars. So that tablecloth then has to remold and shrink down. And that takes time. It takes a year, year and a half.
And it really takes a good
while, right?
year.
Now, the bone, the teepee part, the army tent, you see that within a week or two. The tip and the skin takes some time.
And the swelling.
And
it takes a long, it takes a long time.
Right. Now that's and we're going to do a podcast about rhinos. I do a lot of rhinos.
That was a quick, fast, and a hurry, but so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
okay. You're Brittany, and you're freaked out by noses. You want a quick fix.
You don't want
surgery.
I mean,
thought of a chisel makes you nervous.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah. So what do you do at that point? You're scared. Maybe you're not ready to commit. What happens? Because nose job's a nose job.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. It's on the face.
It's on the face. It's a big deal.
Or you have a very small imperfection that you don't feel, a surgeon doesn't feel is
necessary
yet.
Yeah.
That's where
surgery.
the liquid rhino comes along.
Yeah. And it's really gotten popular the last 5 or 6 years. It's been around for maybe 10 years. And that's where we use fillers to change the appearance, shape, and size somewhat of the nose. Right.
I do have a question. Okay, so you think in a traditional nose, in a traditional rhino, you're taking away.
This is a good point.
Okay, that is everybody's question. Good.
That's it. And I'm like, and now you're adding.
Right.
So how are we getting to if I'm like, oh my God.
That's the $1 million question, Brittany. So There are some people that are not candidates for liquid rhinoplasties.
So a liquid rhinoplasty is using dermal filler placed in all the perfectly right little spots in very small amounts to contour the nose.
Right. The problem with a
He's
liquid
saying
rhinoplasty,
not everybody's a candidate.
because the
Yeah.
problem is you have to add.
Yeah.
You cannot take away with filler. So what that means is if you come in and say, hey, Dr. Weiler, I've got this big giant hump on my nose. I want to have a liquid rhinoplasty. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, you're not a good candidate.
Okay, or it's insane. You can have a big hump, and if you place a tiny...
So let's not use the word
sorry.
big.
If
big-
you have a hump,
If you have a hump,
tiny
I'm talking about a big, I'm talking about a Wizard of Oz witch, like classic Halloween, giant, big nose.
A Glinda
Yeah.
nose.
yeah.
No,
Yes.
not Glinda. With the alphabet.
No, not the good
Yeah.
witch. Not the good witch.
I'm like, Glinda. No,
Right.
alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have one of those, you're not a candidate. Now, if you have a bump or some fullness up here, and even a sizable bump, Taylor's right. We can camouflage it, right?
Ah, okay. So
Right? And we camouflage it by adding, right? So, but to add, we have to bring everything else to the level
Yes.
of the highest peak. So think about like some people are like the plains of the country, nice and smooth. They look great, right? Some people have a Colorado nose, right? They've got like a bump here. They got a bump, right?
Some people have a Colorado.
Yeah, but you get it. You get it,
You
right?
get it, but you got to fill. You got to fill
You
it
got to
in.
get in the Rockies.
You can't have
gotta fill it up.
You can't have that lumpy. You have that ruts in there, right? You got to fill it up.
You gotta
So
fill
you
it
got
up.
to add, and it works wonderful. It really does.
So that's it. Who is a candidate for the liquid rhinos?
So all right. So ethnic rhinoplasties are often very good candidates.
Oh, really?
And so African American patients and Asian patients tend to have a very low dorsum, so their nose looks flat and wide. Because if you go back to the army tent or teepee, their army tent is more like a dome, like
It's
a low
like
dome.
this, and not
So
like this.
You can add and build
Okay.
it up, and that
All
makes
right.
a huge
It
difference.
gives you a-
And
So
you are adding volume,
there.
In here.
but it's more
Because
sloped
it's so
and low.
low.
And it's kind of like pushed back. But if you lift and add volume up here, contours it.
Yeah, and you can add volume here, and you can even add volume to the tip. That works really well. Okay, so they're good candidates. Right? They just have to understand that it's physically not going to be smaller. It's going to visually look smaller because we're adding more height to their nose. So they're great candidates for it. Other great candidates, like Taylor was talking about, ladies that have some smaller humps that are not afraid of saying, hey, I'm going to get a slightly bigger nose. So you can add, if you have a hump right in the middle, you can add above and you can add below. And it works, gives you a nice smooth nose.
Can you add I call it a caveman. You know how sometimes like it's like dipped in right here. Could you add there to kind of like to smooth that out to where you don't
Now,
have such a caveman situation going?
You do want to be careful.
Well, I was about to say,
You don't want to go too high up
yeah,
here
because then you'll have like a
because you get a unicorn.
yeah,
look.
you have like a
We don't want to make any unicorns, right?
Yeah.
and the nose is very vascular.
Very
Right.
vascular.
So is it risque?
That's depends on what you read. I think it's a very safe procedure.
If done appropriately by the appropriate person
If
who
done
has been
appropriately.
properly trained.
Right? There are
Disclaimer.
there are risks associated with it. Just like any other filler, you can occlude a vessel. And that could result in issues with the skin. You can have infections and things like that. It's extremely rare because, like you said, the nose is very vascular. So usually other areas take over if there's a problem. But yeah, there are risks associated with it.
Are you seeing bruising and stuff? Because when we talk about rhinos, you immediately think of like your black eyes. Are you having a lot of bruising with the liquid rhinos?
Well, I think that's a
Yeah, I think it leads into.
not a whole lot, but I think it leads into our next
Yeah.
segment,
The next segment.
right?
Yeah.
Which
Let's
we're going to bring
see
on.
if she bruised.
Right.
Let's see if she bruised.
Can't wait to hear our lovely guest story about how she got down the liquid rhino path, if you will. Yes, I'm very excited. All right, everybody, hang tight. We'll be right back, and we are going to talk to our own lovely Lauren about her liquid rhino. Stay tuned.
My name is Casey. I live in Hammond, Louisiana. As I was approaching my 30s, I started to notice a few wrinkles here and there. I just wasn't happy, so I decided to make a step to change it. I've always known of Dr. Weiler's practice, and that was always my first choice. The first time I've ever been here, I was a little nervous, but once I got there, everyone was very welcoming, made me feel at place, and it's made me look visibly younger. I have more of a confidence boost. I feel better about myself and in my own skin.
My name is Parker, and I'm on semaglutide with Rejuvime Medical. My entire life I was an athlete. Stopped doing sports by the time I got to college. You know, the college life just takes a hold of you, and all of a sudden I was not where I used to be. So I started on a really small dose, and within a week I lost 3 pounds. 3 months I was down 30. Kept on doing it because I wanted to see how far I could go, and then I was down 71 within probably 9 months. Choosing Rejuvime was by far the best decision I think I've ever made.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Like I said, we have our own lovely Lauren here with us today. Lauren, thank you.
Lauren White in the house.
I know.
Baby.
How long have you been at Weiler Plastic Surgery?
That's a great question.
If I answer it, you might figure out my age. I've been here 10 years. I mean, 10 years in August.
Anniversary.
So excited.
Oh, a 10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
You know, most marriages only last 7 years, so y'all are doing great. Because I
we
mean,
don't
like,
even argue very much.
wait, yeah, Lauren and I joke
Lauren
all
just
the
tells me what to do sometimes.
Wait, Lauren and I joke all the time. We're like, you know, we could steal his identity.
Pretty much.
Lauren could,
Literally
like,
pretty much.
probably make it out of the country, clear all my accounts. And I may realize it 48 hours later.
I said maybe because the Lord knows you didn't check your email. But
Especially if it's Monday. If it's Monday through Wednesday, I'll have no idea.
I'm way too authentic to steal your
That's
identity.
right. I
I
know.
was about to say,
Or
I'm like,
scared.
no. All right. So what do you
She
do?
knows my DEAs. She knows
I just
all.
everything. We could literally start a drug ring.
Don't tempt me with a good
I was about to
time.
say, well, extra income on the side. This recession is just out
A
of
little
control.
hustle, a little side hustle.
Okay,
All
Lauren
right.
White,
Wow, like what do you do?
take us back, baby. Obviously, we're talking about liquid rhinos, but tell us before. So you were a nurse.
That's what she does.
Yeah, what do
She
you do
obviously-
at the
yes.
Weiler Plastic?
That is a loaded question.
Jack of all trades,
Jack of
master
all
of
trades.
none.
Oddly enough, I met Dr. Weiler when I moved to Baton Rouge. My best friend at the time was working for Rejuvime.
Yep.
He was looking for a nurse.
Yep.
And I was very happy in my PACU job. My previous experience to that is ICU in New Orleans. And we met at Cece's Coffee before we had a real HR and, you know, talked about his Disney cruise with his very young children at the time. And if you've
5 and
ever
6.
met him, he's very easy to connect with, makes you feel very comfortable. And I took a leap of faith and I haven't looked back.
Yep.
Here we are.
Here we are. We have a podcast.
We have a podcast.
Who would have thought? Wait, now I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, is it the same CC's that we go to?
Oh, yeah.
It's my second
yeah.
office.
I was going to say he's running a business out of CC's.
Yeah. So, kind of built our practice with just Hammond and Baton Rouge. Started
Yep.
an OR, 1 surgeon. Fast forward 10 years, 5 doctors,
Yep.
40 employees that kind of work directly under me. I'm a nurse who's bossy. I think that's kind of how I've worked my way to where I
You're a
am.
nurse that knows what she wants and is in charge.
Yeah.
You have
But,
ambition.
Yep.
yeah.
She's
Drive.
great.
He has a dream and I'm just kind of chasing it with him. And it's been a
I
really
know,
good
but
ride.
sometimes his dreams are wild.
They can be crazy,
You
but
get it.
you know,
You get it?
you have to have a vision.
You gotta,
said the
you gotta
podcast
shoot
never
for
worked.
the stars.
Yeah. Like,
You know?
that's it. He's shooting for something.
I mean,
For sure.
His
All right,
crazy
well,
ideas transpire
Let's
into
stop talking
something.
about me. What?
He's like, can't listen.
What? Let's talk about the liquid rhinoplasty. So talk to us about, obviously, me and you are going down this road, but you talk about what brought you into it. What was your thought process from being in this world? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think being in aesthetics, you're obviously exposed to anything and everything. I always
Right.
tell people, come to Weiler Plastic Surgery. If you have a problem, we have a solution. So,
Yep.
I mean, if you have
If you
like
can think of it, we can
a
do it, or
tiny
we
little
know.
mole that
We-
bothers you,
yeah.
like we can take it off.
take it
Or,
off.
you know,
Exactly
if you have an imperfection in your lip, like you can fill one side. I think plastic surgery gets a bad rap that it has to be unnatural or not real. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on working here because I feel like we do provide real results
Yep.
for real patients.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess the liquid rhinoplasty came out probably 6 or 7 years ago, and you start kind of like looking in the mirror, and my nose never bothered me growing up, but like when you work in this business, you kind of start to pick yourself apart. And I think I'm pretty grounded and humble. My husband was like, "Oh my God, you cannot work there. You're going to look crazy." And, I remember the first time I got Botox, I had been here about 6 months, and I was waiting for him to notice.
Right.
Nothing. Nothing. Like crickets. I'm like, do I look different? And he was like, I have no idea. What did you do? So real results and very subtle. So anyway, the liquid rhinoplasty came out, and I was like, I was intrigued.
Would you have
What was wrong with your nose?
Yeah,
what bothered you about your nose?
So if you have kids, I think this is when I noticed it. You start to take newborn photos, okay? And you're like holding your baby, and they're like right here by your face. This sounds
perfect
crazy.
little cherubs, right?
And they're just like
No
fresh out the
imperfections.
womb, not a wrinkle on them, the
Yep.
most perfect skin. And I remember seeing my newborn like right near my face, and I was like, that was probably the first time that I ever really said, "Oh, I do have like a little hump."
Right.
I got a little
Like,
something.
I'm authentic. That's me. I'm gonna own it. It didn't really bother me that much at the time, until like this buzz kind of came about, and it was like no downtime.
Right.
I never hated my nose enough to think that I needed a traditional rhinoplasty, but I like the idea of something quick,
Yeah.
painless, minimal downtime with a real result.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's where liquid rhinoplasties sort of fill that niche, right? I think there's people that, like you said, that they're like, oh, that's a bigger surgery to go through. I'm not that unhappy or that self-conscious of it, right? But hey, if I could make it a little bit look better, why not, right?
And
I
we
think
didn't talk about this earlier, is revisionary. So you don't want to keep going back and back and back to surgeries. And so you'll have a little imperfection that drives you crazy after you've had 2 rhinos.
Yep. Yeah, just a shift. Yeah, so, rhinoplasties are, especially revisionary rhinoplasties, very often are not going to be perfect, right? Nobody's really perfect. And liquid rhinoplasties, so when we talk about like a true liquid rhinoplasties, usually we're using at least almost a cc of filler, I'd say. And for those of you that do a lot of filler or no filler, cc's is not a huge amount of filler, but it's certainly not a dab of filler, right? But some patients that have had a surgery and they're a little bit unhappy, and because, like you said, you look at a picture of yourself, right? And you're like, I'm not like hugely unhappy with it, but like if this right here was just a little bit better, I'd be so happy, right? And so revisionary surgeries, like you said, it's a great opportunity to use a little bit of filler to fix a little small irregularity.
Imperfection,
right?
yeah.
And then like Lauren, who's a woman that's like, I'm comfortable with myself. I think I look great. But when I looked at my little perfect newborn with that, 6-week-old skin and that glow, I noticed that like, I had this little irregularity, and hey, I work at a place, or I know a guy, or hey, for $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, I can get it fixed. And it's a walk in, walk out, right? So describe the process.
Yeah, describe the
that you went through.
procedure.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it could be done on your lunch break.
Yep.
Truly. Little topical numbing. We have a great compound pharmacy. I think our numbing is, even my eyeballs were numb. I didn't even put it near my eyes.
Right.
About 20 minutes. And he came in, even working for him, he's always so professional. Anytime I've ever had an experience with him as like Dr. Weiler and me being the patient, we sat down, we looked at my pictures. What bothers you? What do you feel about this? And, while he's injecting, you have the mirror, and we're like working through that process together.
Yep.
Because it's not his vision, right? It's the patient's vision. So I think it's important that those are both aligned. And I think like the whole thing was done in like less than 45 minutes.
Yep.
He physically brought me an ice pack, I would like to note.
Which I don't always do that, by the way. My nurses often do that, but
He knew where they were.
I was so...
I'm like,
I think the office was
It was
shutting
actually
down.
closed and no one was there. But typically on a regular day, a regular patient, some great nurse would bring you an ice pack. But if you do it after hours like me, he brought me an ice pack. So sweet. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I felt like one injection.
Yeah. And you rated it because like everybody's sitting here.
Yeah.
What did you compare it to Botox? And you said,
I honestly think it was easier than Botox because I don't numb for Botox, so you're
Right.
talking about multiple injections. I'm not like real ninny when it comes to
Right.
needles, but I would say everything from like here up, I didn't really even feel a thing. I felt
Right.
like a tiny pinch when you got a little bit lower, but so realistic,
Yeah.
so
Right.
easy. A little bit of swelling, a little bit
Yeah.
of bruising, nothing that couldn't be covered with just,
A little touch of
a
makeup,
little
huh?
touch of makeup. And honestly, the first time I did it way back when, my husband didn't even really notice. So that
Mm-hmm.
was just like how minimal it
Yeah.
was. And then when you point it out, you're like, oh yeah, I really do notice a difference.
Yeah, and I think like depending on your, as a patient, depending on your goals, like you said, right? So, Lauren's goal is to maintain her absolute appearance. You had a small little hump, right? That had a little irregularity above and below. And you maybe had we had a little divot issue laterally we took care of too. So I'm not trying to pick you apart. But
Totally fine. I can thank my now 4-year-old for that little
she
divot.
She got knocked in the nose too. So she did have some injuries there.
Trauma.
And so adding filler above and below where the hump was, filling in the little contour irregularity. And to be truthful, usually what happens is patients come in, I will do it. They'll participate, like you said, with the mirror. We usually take a small pause. Some patients, need, I usually bring them back in a few weeks. Because what happens is the second you start filling, and you do get some swelling right off the bat, right? And it's not crazy swelling, but the nose is a game of micrometers, right? And so just 0.01, 0.001 filler makes a little difference. A little bit goes a long way in the nose. And so I do tell patients, let's revisit in 2 to 4 weeks. We have a little bit left, depending on what you need. And then we can really be granular and say, hey, let's get and I did tell Lauren that when first, I think you want a little bit more on one side. And we'll probably do that in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to do it.
The beauty of it too is that it lasts so long.
So
What
long.
product are you using for this?
It is it's always hyaluronic acid
Yep.
in our practice. I've heard of other practices using other things, but we use hyaluronic acid. Usually a Juvederm Ultra, just something, not really Vicross, something with some good support, some good lift.
Yep.
But there's numerous products and all of the portfolios that we can use, but all hyaluronic acid.
Yeah. And I always tell, and this is and tell me, and correct me if I'm wrong. So I always tell patients, the less motion, the longer the filler lasts.
Correct.
So, roughly, let's say lips, 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Right? You get a little out there, a year and a half. You get a little bit more into the cheeks, 2 years, give or take. Because there's movement here. You get here, there's very little movement on your nose. It can go for years. It really can.
It really does last
You said
a really
that you've
long
had
time.
two.
Yeah, so I kind of challenged myself when
Yeah.
you guys put me to the test that I was going to be on here. So I'm going to be prepared. It's kind of crazy. And I
So I
kind
went and got
of
a
went
liquid
back to see when I
really?
could start to see kind of the slow dissolve. And to me, it was never noticeable. It doesn't just go away,
Yeah.
right? So that
Yeah,
maybe some people feel like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I wake up and my hump's right back.
No.
I would say probably about 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I tell people, 4 to 6 years.
I would say about 3 was super straight.
Yeah.
And then just slow with time.
Wow.
So
And there is theory too. So you mentioned revisionary rhinos. So if somebody comes in and we're doing a revisionary rhino, or there's a primary rhino with a slight irregularity, early filler is thought to last a very long time, because as you heal, it's forming some scar tissue and new bone. And if you can get that filler in there in the early postoperative period, 6 months before from surgery to 6 months, some patients are like, oh, no, I don't want. But if you can do it early, we do think that it does form in there almost like a more permanent structure.
What are your thoughts on
That's neat.
It is neat.
dissolving filler before a traditional rhino? Have you heard of that? Is it necessary?
Okay. I mean, if you've had a tremendous amount, within that year,
Yeah.
I would say a CC or above, it may be worthwhile.
Yeah.
So if you're let's say we have we talk about African American or, ethnic rhinos, right? So, Asian people, African Americans, people with historically, genetically flatter, wider noses. If they've had a CC and a half injected in there, probably a good idea.
All on the dorsum.
On the dorsum
Yeah.
to bring that down,
Yeah.
right? Because those patients need grafting in there. So whenever you do an ethnic rhinoplasty, you have to build it up, not take it down, right? If it's a European or Caucasian or a more traditional nose that's had a little bit of fill here and there, you're going to go in through the years. No, because you're going to when you elevate the skin, you can see and feel the bony
Yes.
abnormalities.
Yeah.
It's really about when you're adding. That's a good idea to do.
Yeah. Okay.
So because you don't want to not put in enough graft to elevate. But that's a good point.
I love a good nose.
Okay, so you were re-injected what day? How long ago?
Today is Thursday, so it
Tuesday.
would have been Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
So
2
days ago.
Yeah.
And so
2 days
you
ago.
can look, Lauren, look at the camera. You can look. She is a little bit swollen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, you can't even tell she had
And a little
anything
bruise,
done.
slight little
Yeah. I was
bruise.
gonna say,
so
like,
that's-
I
that
know.
gives
But
a
I
little
will.
light
I
reflection.
own my bruise.
Yep.
We got back from Napa 2 months ago. The wine has been coming in, and
Yeah.
I was not compliant with the pre-op instructions. So
As we were doing it, she's like, I got 6 cases of wine at home I've been working on.
I
listen
am
to your
so
injector when they tell
sorry.
you to not drink a few days before. It is helpful. So
It's just like, I'm sorry, I was drunk last night. What'd you say? Like,
it wasn't the day before. It was Sunday fun day.
Okay.
Okay, calm down.
And look, the reason for that is because alcohol does dilate your vessels.
Right.
Right. That's why you get the red, ruddy face when you drink.
Yes.
And you feel warm, right? Because it brings the skin, it dilates the surface vessels. So that's the reason, hey, lay off the booze for 48 hours. I don't know
Yep.
what you tell patients, but
Yeah.
usually
Yeah,
48 hours
Yep.
before so those vessels go back to where they're normal. It's not a bad thing, but you're going to bruise a little more. So.
do all of y'all injectors? Do all of y'all's injectors do liquid rhinos?
Yeah. So talk about that. Yeah.
What?
So-
Oh gosh, was that?
No, it's
That's a good question. Our surgeons do
Yeah.
the liquid rhinos
Okay.
at our practice.
Right.
I did liquid rhinos for a long time. It is a higher risk procedure.
Yeah, that's what I was-
highest risk
Right.
of anywhere on the face that we inject. So our policy currently is that if you do a traditional rhinoplasty surgical, you do a liquid rhinoplasty. Two of our doctors will perform them because they're skilled and comfortable. At the end of the day, you have to have a very trained, skilled person providing this procedure.
Yeah.
It is high risk, but insanely rewarding. He says it's not high risk.
Okay, this is where me and Taylor differ. All injectables are risky. Okay, I do feel like the biggest risk, obviously, of any injectable is going to be ischemia or injury to the skin or an issue with the eyeball or vision. The eyeball and vision thing can happen. Okay, just like getting in a car wreck on I-10.
But it could happen in a
can happen
nasolabial fold too.
nasolabial
It
fold.
could happen in a temple. It
I
could
was going to say temple.
Yeah.
Temple would kind of scare. I feel like temple would be scary.
So I think if you're very comfortable with the anatomy, which all of our injectors are, but it all gets pushed more to me primarily because I'm the one that there's, like I said, 2 or 3 surgeons in our practice that do the rhinos. I do a lot of rhinos. I'm very, very comfortable with rhinoplasties. I am comfortable with complications if there were to be any. I'm not a wizard, but I'm very comfortable with any situation that would arise. And I'm also the other thing I tell patients is it's not a apples for apples. And what I mean by that is you're not just paying the filler. It's not a filler price. It's a procedural price.
It's a procedure.
Yeah.
Too. So it is a little bit more expensive than just like a CC of filler.
Yeah, just going in and getting your lips done.
Right, because
This
it is a more skilled, nuanced. You do want to see somebody. If you're going to get a liquid rhinoplasty, you do want to visit with somebody that has the capability of doing a traditional rhinoplasty also. Because the thing I tell patients is you don't want to waste your money. Nothing
Yeah.
in life is cheap. And these aren't cheap. They're not super expensive. They're not near the cost of a traditional rhino. But if you really need a rhinoplasty, don't waste your money getting a liquid rhinoplasty and not getting the results that you want. So that's kind of why we roll that in our practice.
Got
Yeah.
it.
But you
I think it's worked
can do your consultation with
With our injectors.
With the injectors.
With the-
Yes,
Okay.
because
And,
they
like,
all
they
are very
all-
skilled.
Yes.
Nice.
And aware of the options.
Yes.
And we will
But
do
they
that.
will come in for a liquid rhinoplasty and
Right.
end up doing a surgical rhinoplasty.
Correct.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Correct.
Because it's
Because there are limitations to what
They're-
they can do.
Yeah, they're thinking that a liquid is enough, and it's like not for what you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, Dr. Weiler is amazing at telling people like,
Sorry about
look,
it.
you should save your money.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, don't spend this now.
Yeah. Wait a
Save
year.
for a year or two, and then
Yeah.
come back and see me, and
Right.
let's do the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I so appreciate
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
there's plenty of people that are just looking to make quick cash
Yeah.
and not being authentic and
yeah.
real.
Yeah, because ultimately, we're not, as a group here, we're not in the business of procedures. We're in the business of happy patients, and
Yeah.
Right.
it's ultimately, we're on a long term plan here, so
Yeah.
we want patients to be happy long term,
Yeah.
and it's important.
Well,
So-
I mean,
My
What
friend-
would you add as an injector that sees a ton of patients that, I mean,
I will say that the nose balances the face, but you also have to balance other parts of the face. So if you have a very recessed chin, balancing it's a full face consultation.
Do your thing that you wanted him to do earlier. And
Yeah,
just
just
do it.
the tip of the nose, the lower lip, and the chin should all be one. All be one.
Right.
And so looking at that, correct.
Yeah. Shouldn't have the nose sticking out and your chin sticking in, or your chin sticking out and your nose sticking in.
I probably need a chin.
Or no lips.
You have a pretty good profile.
You have a pretty good profile.
You do have
not perfect, but pretty good.
And a really cute nose, if I may.
Yeah,
You just can't. You just can't.
And look, options for chins. Options for chins, real quick.
A chin, obviously a chin implant is the permanent fix, but a lot of times patient will try it on and do filler into the chin area, which is very amazingly changing for the nose, the lips, and the neck. Yeah. And nobody really comes in. I mean, I think it's a little bit more popular now. Nobody comes in saying, I want chin filler. Right. They say, I don't like my neck. I don't like my jowls. I don't like something's going on. And so it's all about proportions. I mean, we do liquid rhinos. We do filler in specific areas to contour and help the nose. You can place Botox in the nose, and we do that a lot. Ethnic nose, a wider than the ala. Whenever that flares bigger, you can place little bits of Botox here. You can place Botox in the depressor septi muscle, where if you smile and like he was saying about that witch, it pulls down.
And we can transect that in the rhinoplasty too to eliminate that. So there's lots of there's a yin and a yang for all this.
Like mine goes up.
I'm just gonna be like something. Is this normal?
So
Brittany's going to be on the schedule on Monday for a consultation.
I mean, it goes back to people who contour makeup, how they place the perfect little amounts here, and then that shimmer on top to thin and contour the nose. Yeah, that is what filler is doing.
I'm going to end the conversation with this statement I always say, is that the people that are more balanced and symmetrical are considered more attractive. So if you look at our Hollywood stars and you cut their face in half, almost one side of their face is almost exactly like the other side.
Is this your Brad Pitt?
This is my Brad Pitt.
It's your Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad is a good-looking man.
Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Symmetry is beautiful.
Because he's symmetrical.
Yep.
Symmetrical.
Lauren, anything you'd like to add?
I know.
As you roll out of here?
What would you tell a patient? Somebody who has a little imperfection.
I would tell a patient, confidence starts from the inside, but is exuded on the outside. So if you truly feel like a small little baby imperfection could be fixed and bring both of those pieces of yourself together, it's worth the investment.
Yep. Easy too. Easy in a busy life.
Easy. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like you said, no downtime. You said lunchtime.
Yeah. I mean, look, you do have to work within his schedule, which means you kind of have to go through me, which I'm very accommodating.
We're pretty accommodating. We are.
But yeah, I mean, really minimal downtime. Yeah. It's if you're a little nervous, we give you a little something to help you relax. But for the most part, walk in, walk out. You just can't work out and wear makeup that day.
That's right.
So just work out before you come.
Anyway, so this works out. This is great. This is great.
Let's go, Brett.
This is great.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, Lauren. And also remember, click, follow, link,
subscribe below.
Behind us, subscribe, do all the things. The Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure that you're following us, because obviously this is where you get all the good information, especially on a podcast panel today with like Dr. Weiler and his 3 work wives. So make sure you're following us. I know he's like, I wasn't sure about this one. So make sure you're following us. Make sure you're listening. Follow us on Instagram, all the social platforms. We are there. Remember to always stay informed, always stay curious, and always consult before you cut. We'll see you guys next week.